Hey everyone, I just wanted to touch on a few things. I just want to test some things on this same one with the burrows. Let's see if we throw a couple of things in here at the end. Funny, I got Poisonous Swamp, as that was the only spell I was using. But luckily, the Duelist, he kicked in. Of course he did, with a 97% chance. That's another good reason to level him up. You get to repeat the same level, and if you want to test things, perfect scenario. Everything's the exact same. Same everything. And here was the portal totem for the mechanoids. And don't forget to take those down rather quick. They are pretty tough on your towers. Basically, I wanted to add tornado and lightning stun and meteor. I'm going to test meteor. Don't forget about chain lightning on these new Fleetles. Because you don't want to use meteor anymore and smashing them into the ground, you can still stun them. I believe that's still a solid 5-second stun. Definitely helps. Tornado, you can slow them down with tornado. Now, of course, you have your regular version, but there is now a foil version of tornado. It just makes it 20% longer, which it stands for over a minute now. Great. But you have to be careful with tornado. Will throw things off path. And I don't think there was anything else I want to test here. I do want to point out, I did just recently get Chain Lightning to 90. It was a lower level card, and because of that, it is now showing in my task list. Luckily, it's not kill enemies, but affected by enemies. So it makes it rather easy to hit the task amount. So not too bad. But if there are other cards such as Snowball, kill enemies with Snowball, you probably do not want to get that close to your current level. Otherwise, you're going to have a very hard time killing things with Snowball. And what I want to test is just show you that the Fleetle can be stunned. And let's just set it up how we had it before. And as you can see, he just goes back underground and pops. Well, he skipped it, but he pops right back up there. So I'm going to make sure he does not go through. Don't want too many things to go through there. As you saw before, 2 of the mechanoids made it through, but if you have that ship upgrade, the top left, the 3, I can actually get 3 lives back. Each one takes a minute, of course. I'm just going to go ahead and take care of that damage down here at the bottom. Make sure everything's gone away. Okay, now nothing is going through. And what I wanted to test is, let's see if we can actually take these towers out since we have a Fleetle coming up. Looks like one of the guys is already coming through. Let's see. Let's go ahead and put him here just to be on the safe side so not too many things come through. And I just want to, let's see, I don't want any damage. I want to test if the Fleetle, if you, we'll let that first one go through, but if we throw him to the ground, and that should put him on the ground, or in this case kill him. Apparently I have some damage runes on Meteor. Funny times. We'll check that out in the next round. Apparently level 1 you can kill things with Meteor, and that's good to know because that's actually one of the tasks, is to kill things. I'm just going to a death pile here. One thing I did want to point out is, of course, the Chain Lightning does work on Fleetle still. It doesn't force them to the ground. So as you can see, it's nice bit of time. I think I have some low runes, if any runes at all, on Chain Lightning, so you can get some more beneficial time out of that spell now. Basically, you get an extra spell that you weren't probably using before at 90. One thing that scares a lot of people with tornado is it will throw things on different paths. And if there is not an outlet or a path to go through, your towers may get deleted and you will not get that count back. It's a risky play with tornado. It's by design. I don't think there's really a fix for that. That's just common knowledge. Don't use tornado where enemies can be placed behind your towers. Make sure all the slots that you can fill are taken up if you're going to use tornado. Otherwise, you may lose that tower. And I say lose that tower because as it truly does get lost and taken out of the game. Whereas you saw with the Fire Brute, you don't lose the tower when he burns it down. He just literally burns it all the way down to it has no hit points. And it ticks back. After a couple of seconds, you'll have it back. And I believe all the towers do not do anything while they're burning until they're back to 100%, except for Reviving Tower. Reviving Tower, as soon as it gets that first tick back, it starts to heal. So that is a bonus over the Engineering Tower. If you have the option to use both of those, obviously it costs almost twice as much as a normal Engineering Tower. You always want to overlap them until you realize that Reviving Tower actually can heal itself, so to speak. Within 1 or 2 seconds, it's already healing everything around it again. At least around it. Does not heal itself outside of its normal self-healing. But it becomes useful, within a second or two, which is great. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and go to that second. I'm just going to show you Tornado. You can get 51 seconds of time on that. It's definitely a good spell to keep in mind against the Fleetles now, as just one more way to burn them down. They don't look too difficult, but once you start getting the 300 and higher, because of Volcano not doing any damage on them, it makes them very hard to kill, basically because it's time consuming. They do not go down. They do not like to die. And we're going to try that out again with the Air Guard. And we'll just put this guy here. Also, I believe the dots do still apply when they go underground. If I had placed the spider nest or anything else, they would still go underground. The one thing I'm curious about, I have not tested it yet, but with Fleet Idol doing 4 times damage, if they go underground, try playing around with that. They might actually do 4 times more damage to those creatures as they're underground. You might actually want to keep them underground. Alright, now we're looking for the Fleetles. How rare it is to look forward to seeing a Fleetle. You won't have many times you're wanting that to happen, that's for sure. And here's the Iron Furies, and they're going to fly right over. And so are the Fleetles, and that's what we want to test. If I throw them to the ground, they go underground. They stay underground. They are persistent little bugs. Yeah, they do not like to come back up, even if there's a burrow. So if they're flying over, they're going to stay flying over. If they're going underground, they're staying underground. And it doesn't, as you noticed, it does not even stun the Fleetles. They just go straight to underground and continue walking. Whereas these birds, they actually stay flying. They're actually on the ground at this point, but they're stunned. But the Fleetles do have their own parameters. They fly by their own way, that's for sure. You'll notice you get a lot of Fleetles. If they show up, just plan on seeing a lot of those. And that's why the Air Guard does actually have its use again in this new world of Fleetles. It's not the strongest tower, but it's very rapid. So it can actually pack a punch. I do not have very good runes on it, and it still hits for over 2 million once you have it a bit higher. So once again, don't forget about the stun tower, and notice that this guy does hit very strong if you level him up. But That should do it this time. Alright guys, enjoy the game.